Would you be interested in bringing in Jaire Alexander with the Bears, given we don't know exactly what Tyreek Stevenson is going to be with this team?
I think you bring him in if you do decide to bring him in, and I think what you have to do is do the homework, because isn't the book on him more of the attitude, the discipline, and things like that? Like the talent.
They've had some issues with him recently.
Like the talent is there, and I would think you bring him in less about Stevenson and more about the talent.
All right, I was going to ask you about Nick Chubb and the Bears running back situation, so why don't we start there with that news? So he has signed with the Texans officially, and we saw the reports last week that J.K. Dobbins was visiting with the Broncos, and who knows how that finishes out. But Nick Chubb, how are you feeling about the fact that the Bears never really were, it seems like, really in on him at all, and they let one get away here?
I'm not bothered by it. I don't think there's any rush. I do believe that they're still looking. And I think as you get to training camp, they're going to be plenty. I think there are going to be plenty of fairly accomplished veteran guys that you may be able to pluck off, a waiver wire.
You said pluck?
I said pluck,
okay.
Yeah. And maybe you get involved in Dobbins. I think this group, I think we talked about this last week. I think this new staff, more than anything, want to see what they had.
Yeah, and I think from the reports, it's very tough to tell where you don't have any real contact. But I think, it was Ben Johnson, I think, even called his name out when asked who have been the guys who flashed this week. Monangai is the guy who is their 7th-round pick who has caught their attention. Mm-hmm. And you alluded it to with Eric Bieniemy. When you've got a guy who could develop running backs like Eric Bieniemy, you've got already a veteran in Swift. Maybe they've liked what they've seen from rookie camp and mini camp and OTAs from Monangai. And they say, we're good right now with the 4 guys that we have, if you count Wheeler, too.
There's
when he
a
gets
guy
healthy.
to keep an eye on.
If he's healthy, where is he in the rehab? I mean,
I'm not 100% sure, but I think they were kind of fond of him last year before he got hurt. Great speed. I don't know how that'll be affected by coming off the ACL, but I'd keep an eye on him.
My guess is if you've drafted a guy in the 7th round that you're sort of bullish on here, why bring in a veteran immediately in training camp to take snaps away from him? Let's see what
unless
the kid
you don't
can
like,
do.
Yeah, unless you, yes, right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That things have looked good, that they want to continue to give him a chance before they bring in a guy. And they can always bring in a guy later.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any rush to do it.
So, I'm thinking with Ian Wheeler, too, like the timeline that he had. So he tore it probably August last year, right? Because it was during one of the preseason games. So it's been about 10 months now. So I'd imagine if he's not already back, he's very close to being back. While we're on the topic of the Bears, the Packers today cut Jaire Alexander. So they've officially moved on from him. Once upon a time, the highest paid cornerback in the league. Would you be interested in bringing in Jaire Alexander with the Bears, given we don't know exactly what Tyreek Stevenson is going to be with this team?
I think you bring him in if you do decide to bring him in, and I think what you have to do is do the homework, because isn't the book on him more of the attitude, the discipline, and things like that? Like the talent.
They've had some issues with him recently.
Like the talent is there, and I would think you bring him in less about Stevenson and more about the talent.
He only played 7 games last year, and injuries have become an issue with him recently.
And wasn't it like about a want of coming back? Like there's all Packer fans know better than me, but I think if you have faith in your coaching staff and Al Harris and Dennis Allen, you definitely kick the tires and see if you're comfortable.
Availability has been his biggest issue, I think, recently. 2021, he played 4 games. 2022, he played 16. The last 2 years, he's only played 7 games in each of the last 2 years. So muscle pulls and all kinds of other things. I don't know how much is left in the tank.
What were the controversies? What it will refresh my memory when we say, weren't there a couple of things?
Yes,
whether it was with officials or with getting kicked out of games, or
it was about being a captain, right? Because didn't he go to?
He went out on the field during the captain's meeting.
He wasn't a captain,
right?
But weird stuff.
Yes, yeah, but he went out for a coin flip.
I want to say, is he from Carolina? Because I believe it happened against the Panthers.
I remember you telling us about that.
And he went out there because he thought, like, I deserve to be out there since I'm in my home city.
I would be concerned, not about the talent. My concern would be about availability with him. So, if he wants to be your third corner, okay, but I don't know that's.
You think Buffalo wouldn't bring him in to be their first corner? Or,
they may, yeah.
Yeah, I think teams are going to be. They think that they could fix him.
And by the way, I think he's going. My assumption is if he is waived, he's going to be a free agent. He can pick where he wants to go. Correct, based on his, his tenure in the league. My guess is he's going to want to go to a team that he thinks he can win at first. That's kind of the trend, isn't it, for accomplished players?
Or maybe for someone like him, though, it may be, where can I start? Because then he can maybe turn this into one last contract for him.
Yeah, I don't know I have to be 100%. I don't know his motivation at this point. You don't get rid of really talented players if you consider yourself in win-now mode, unless it's just an untenable relationship. So, don't know. Not sure. He's going to get a chance to pick his next team, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the way it works?
He's a free agent now, yeah.
I'm not sure he'd pick Chicago, even if the Bears were interested.